Hi dear students, welcome back to the lectures. So far we have just finished cardiac cycle and heart sounds. Next is about, in this session I'll discuss with you about a very quick review on electrical activity of heart. As I told you, we have discussed this in the arrhythmia part, but a quick review and how this electrical activity of heart helps in producing ECG, ACG waves, segments and intervals, followed by timings and duration. So this will be the content of this lecture. Followed by that, I'll discuss with you about the bipolar limb leads, all those limb leads, chest leads and all. And then followed by that, the next session will be on the JVP. Okay, so let us start with the ECG. Before understanding ECG, you have to understand what happens, what is the electrical activity of the myocardium and what is the electrical activity of the SA node and EV node. There's a slight difference. Okay, now so take this as a myocardial cell. Okay, we've already discussed this in our lecture on arrhythmia, anti-arrhythmic drugs. So I'll just quickly review this for you. Okay, so what happens initially? There is influx of sodium ions, and we know that this area here, it is electronegative. So outside it's more positive, so because it contains more sodium ions. So initially when the cell is in the resting membrane potential, what happens is there is influx of sodium ions. Okay, there is influx of, it should be influx of sodium ions. Okay, so now lots of sodium ion comes, that is inside becomes positive. So from a negative potential, it just goes on to becoming a positive potential. Okay, I'm not going into the values and all or stages. We have discussed already which phase and all, but it's not very relevant here, so I'm not discussing that. Okay, now what happens next stage? At the next stage, the sodium channel gets closed, and whatever potassium was here, we know that inside the cell there is lots of potassium. So whatever potassium was here, a little bit will start flowing outside. So outside now becomes slightly positive, not much. Okay, so that is the inside becomes slightly negative. So that is, there is a small fall. Okay, there is a small fall in the electrical potential. So this before that, okay, this is what we already discussed, depolarization. That is influx of sodium ions is called depolarization. Now there is slight repolarization. Okay, so this is the resting membrane potential. It starts to depolarize, then sodium ions, the potassium ions goes outside and there is slight fall. But as more positive ions are going outside, immediately calcium channels gets opened up. Okay, calcium channel gets opened up and more calcium comes in. Okay, so what has happened here? Potassium is going out, so positive is going out, positive is coming in. Means there should be there should be a plateau phase. There should be something which is maintained. Okay, the potential should be maintained. There is no net change in potential. Okay, because as initially potassium channel got opened and so the inside became slightly negative. But now the calcium is coming in, again inside is becoming positive, but equally potassium is going out, means it's maintained. Okay, now all of a sudden what happens is the calcium channel gets stopped, gets closed. Calcium channel gets closed. So now what is continuing still we have the potassium channels are still open. Okay, still, so potassium will still leak out. Okay, means outside becoming more positive, inside is becoming more negative like before. That is, this falls. Okay, it falls to its normal level. So this is the first phase is depolarization. This is the plateau phase and this is the repolarization. Okay, repolarization. Now many students have a misunderstanding that depolarization and repolarization is same as the contraction, that is systole and diastole. No, this particular thing is one systole. This depolarization plus repolarization is basically one systole. Okay, diastole is completely a different thing. Okay, so that's electrical potentials are different there. So don't take depolarization, because when we discussed ECG, some students make a mistake there. Like it's basically repolarization is same as diastole. No, This depolarization plus repolarization is a systole, or which is forming the ECG's systole part. Okay, we'll discuss that later on and then you will understand. Okay, now we will go on to explaining the ECG. Now, once we have understood the electrical activity of the heart, let us see how this electrical activity will result in the formation of ECG waves. Okay, now this is a little bit more elaborate than simply saying that P is this, QRS is this, T is this, because once you have understand what really happens in each wave and wave segment, wave intervals, then only you can interpret the pathological part. And you could see that in recent years they've asked the pathology part as well, so we can expect more. And as doctors, we should be knowing ECG, isn't it? There is no way we should say, we shouldn't, or we should say that we are dentists, we doesn't need to know ECG. We should. Okay, we should know how to interpret the ECG. So this is what I'm trying. What is actually an ECG machine? ECG machine is basically a galvanometer. Okay, it's basically a galvanometer. Galvanometer means, if you have seen these people like the electricians, okay, these electricians, they use something with them, okay, which has got like for example, there is a central reading. So I'm not making a digital reading, instead I'm making a mechanical reading. Okay, not a digital, it's an analog type of reading. So let this be, and it has got a needle. Okay, it has got a needle, and this has got two electrodes. Okay, and these two electrodes come out like this. Okay, and this is being attached to the body, and this senses the electrical activity of the heart, and it's measured in frontal plane and in horizontal plane. All this I'll discuss when I discuss the ECG leads. Okay, so just now understand one simple thing. Okay, one simplest of ECG. So we have got this as the positive terminal, let this be the negative terminal, and we attach the positive terminal. We can attach in different ways. So in this case, I'm just attaching the positive terminal to the leg, left leg, LL, and the negative terminal to the right arm. Okay, because the electrical activity just comes from there, and it can be perceived anywhere in the legs or arms or anywhere. So this one I'm just attaching here in like this. So what we get is, we get an electrical axis which runs like this. So this is the only axis we have to be bothered about here, this one, and it is a lead which is called the lead 2. Okay, you know that you have heard of Einthoven's law, Einthoven's triangle, and all. This is basically Einthoven's triangle. I'll explain this to you when I discuss the leads, separate leads, limb leads. So as of now, we are just concentrating on one lead, that is the one which is attached to left leg, one electrode, and the other electrode is attached to the right arm. Okay, so we are not looking into the lead 1, or we are not looking into lead 3. We are just looking into lead 2, or one lead, or we can look into any lead, but primarily we look into one lead just, and we will interpret the ECG and electrical activity of the heart. Okay, now let us see what happens in the heart when it is being stimulated. Okay, so just coming to this picture, you know that there is something known as SA node. So let this be the SA node. Okay, and this is the AV node, the down. So this is the upper one is the SA node, and the lower one is the AV node. Okay, now the electrical signals, we just saw depolarization taking place. So that is, it becomes electropositive. More sodium ions comes inside and we get electropositive, and this electropositive wave will spread in the heart like this. It will just keep on spreading, and then repolarization takes place in the reverse order. So whatever was positive then go back to negative. So it's like it goes back negative. Okay, like this. This is what is the how the information spreads. So let us see what happens during depolarization. So the depolarizing current is spreading from the SA node like this. It spreads throughout the auricles. Okay, it spreads like this. So it is spreading, it's coming from above and on the right side of the patient. So this is the right side of the patient. So from above and right side. So how it will spread? It will spread towards the left and downwards. Okay, so if you add, so these are, just consider these are the electrical charges being propagating towards the ventricle. So if you add all these positive symbols, finally we get a vector. Okay, we are not going to detail of this vector and all. We get like, this is the direction of propagation of the impulse or depolarization. Okay, because it's coming from right side and top. Okay, so it will go to the left side and downwards. So this is the vector of this total charges. Okay, and it is going where it is going. So I should be drawing it much slightly different. Okay, no problem, I'll draw. So it's going where? It's going basically towards the AV node and the ventricle. So this is basically the direction of the vector. It's downward and leftward. Okay, now coming back to this picture, I'm just giving a little bit detail for you to understand what actually is happening. Okay, now the same thing I'll draw here. It's starting from here and it's going like this. It's going like this, isn't it? It's going towards the ventricle like this. Now, I told you that this is the positive terminal. Okay, this is the positive terminal when we attach to the leg. So actually we are attaching the leg, but they're showing the final triangle here, but actually the triangle will extend like this. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, so just take it what you can see here. So basically this is the positive terminal. Okay, and this is basically the charge vector which is coming, and it is moving towards a positive terminal. So here, just I'll change the color. So here it's a positive terminal. We are taking only one lead, so we are taking this lead. So here it's a positive terminal and there is a negative terminal here, okay, on top, and there is a positive terminal, and this positive charge, okay, because it's depolarization, so it's a positive charge which is coming towards positive. So positive towards positive. In ECG you will see a positive deflection. Okay, in ECG you will see a positive deflection, and which is indicative of the current being passing from the SA node towards AV node, this causing atrial depolarization and atrial systole. Okay, atrial systole basically. So basically what happens is the current spreads all over it. Okay, that is positive current just spreads all over it and produces a systole. So what happens in the ECG? So as I told you, there will be a positive deflection. There will be a positive deflection. So this is where it was at rest. Okay, it was at rest. So when there was no depolarization or repolarization, is the resting membrane potential, then there will be a positive deflection. Okay, there will be a positive deflection. I'll explain this later on why it is like it's not a very sharp deflection. We'll see it later. Okay, so it's a positive deflection, upward deflection, because positive is moving towards positive, isn't it? Now the next is the annulus. We could see here there is the annulus. Okay, this is the annulus, which is actually a fibrous band, and when all these impulses, these positive charges will hit on it, on this annulus, it will just die out. Okay, because it's not a good conductor, except those hitting the AV node. So this is the AV node, the red one which I drew. So those hitting the AV node, what happens is the impulse further spreads into the ventricle. So this is the ventricle. So now the impulse has hit the ventricles, isn't it? So now we have the impulse hitting the sorry, not ventricles, it hits the AV node, isn't it? It has hit the AV node here. So in this region it has hit the AV node and it has depolarized the AV node. Now the spread of impulse, the speciality of AV node is that the spread of impulse from the AV node to the ventricles down is very slow. So that's one speciality. Why? Because see, if the spread was very quick from the auricles or from the atrium to the AV node and from the AV node to ventricles, then while the time this atrium we saw that it is contracting, the ventricle will also start contracting. It is the atrium still not has relaxed, but or doesn't have gone to diastole, but before that the ventricle will contract. So to get some time for the auricles, atrium to relax, what we have is we have got some time gap. So that's why AV node is a slow conductor of electricity. Now once it reaches, now AV node, now there should be something which should be deflecting, which should be reflecting on the ECG, isn't it? Because we saw that there is AV node, is this AV node here is being depolarized, but there are some reasons which the electrical impulse of this AV nodal depolarization is not picked up by the ECG machine. Okay, the ECG machine doesn't pick up the AV nodal depolarization. One reason is that when you compare the entire muscles of the heart, AV node is a very small region, so the impulse generated to be picked up by the ECG machine is very low. Okay, it's very small, that's why it doesn't pick up. Another thing is that it's a very slow conductor. Okay, it conducts very slowly. Okay, so these two reasons, due to which the ECG machine doesn't show any deflection in the during the period of the AV nodal depolarization. So P wave is what? P wave, what we saw was, it was atrial depolarization, isn't it? Atrial depolarization, that is, or atrial systole. Okay, depolarization will be followed by repolarization, which is basically the systole. So it is basically the atrial systole. So you can write it as atrial systole. Now, as I told you, the ECG machine doesn't deflects or doesn't recognizes the AV nodal depolarization. So it doesn't deflect. So it is this. Okay, I'll make it in a different color. So it is this green, which is the AV nodal depolarization. AV node depolarization. It will be a straight line because there is no deflection. It is not picked up by the ECG machine. So AV node depolarization. Okay. Now next part, what happens? Now the ventricular depolarization starts. So let us discuss that separately. So far we saw that there is AV nodal depolarization. Okay, and there was a current from the atrium, there was a vector which came towards the AV node, and AV node got depolarized. Now it has to go to the ventricle. Now the ventricle depolarizes in 3 stages. Ventricle depolarizes in 3 stages. Very important to understand the ECG. 3 stages. Ventricle depolarizes in 3 stages. Just write it down. One is septal stage. Okay, the septum gets depolarized, then followed by major ventricular depolarization. Major ventricular depolarization. Okay, and finally basal ventricular depolarization. Basal ventricular depolarization. Don't worry, I'll tell you this what it is. Okay, now where is the septum? This is the septum. This is the septum. The black I'm drawing, this is the septum of the heart. Okay, this is the septum of the heart. Now after that, where is the major ventricular muscles located? This is the major ventricular muscles located. So this is the major ventricular region coming downwards. Okay, and then it depolarizes and goes up in this direction. And so if this is the apex of the heart, then there should be a base of the heart. So where is the base? So this is the base of the heart. Okay, this is the base of the heart. So heart depolarizes in 3 sectors or 3 stages. The ventricles depolarizes in 3 stages, which is shown. Okay, now so that is, first is septum. The first is septum, second is the major ventricular portions, third is the basal portion. And here the vectors we just saw, it changes direction. So how it flows? How does the flow of the current from the AV node we just saw, how does this happen? It comes down like this. It comes down, it spreads to the major ventricular portion like this. I should change the color. So it's, or I'll just remove it. So it comes like this through the septum. Okay, you know that there is bundle branches, Purkinje fibers and all here. It spreads into the major ventricle and it goes up. Okay, it goes up. Same other side also, it goes up. So the vector will also be similarly going. Okay, let us see what happens to the vector. Okay, let us see what happens to the vector. Now, once the AV node depolarizes the ventricular septum, it starts depolarizing. And where do you expect the ventricles, how does it depolarize? So I'll just draw down the septum alone. If I take this as ventricle separately, this is a ventricular septum. Okay, this is the major ventricular portion. So this is the septum. 1, 2 is the major ventricular, and 3 is the basal portion. Now what happens is, first this is very important to understand. Okay, that's why I'm going into details. So now the impulse comes, starts septal depolarization. There is bundle branches out there. Okay, and this is the left bundle branch. Okay, the left bundle branch, and here we have on the other side we have got the right bundle branch. Now the right bundle branch, when it gets depolarized, it spreads the depolarization into the septum, whereas left bundle branch doesn't spread any of its depolarization to the septum. It just goes into the major ventricular portion, it goes into the basal ventricular portion. It doesn't depolarize it. That is, the right side bundle branches doesn't depolarize the septum. Only the left side of the bundle branch, this one depolarizes the septum. Okay, and it also depolarizes the major ventricular portion and basal ventricular portion. So now, where will be the vector starting? Where will be the current flowing? From here to here, isn't it? It will just flow in this direction. Okay, it will flow in this direction. So the vector for this will be having what direction? The vector for this will be having a direction which is just, I'm drawing this one. The vector for this is like this. Okay, so the vector for the septal depolarization is like this, because it's coming from the left side going upwards. Okay, it's the septal depolarization. So when you draw it here on our ECG machine, so hope you have understood the first portion. So I'll just rub that. The septal depolarization, imagine you have got a septum out here, and the depolarization part, let it be having in this direction. Okay, this direction. So now, as we could see, which is the vector, which is the axis, this is the axis, the second axis we are taking. We are not taking 1 and 3 right now. Okay, and again this is the positive terminal, this is the negative terminal, isn't it? So now a positive vector again, which is a depolarization vector again, which is a positive vector, it moves towards a negative, or it says that it moves away from the positive. It moves towards the negative charge. It moves towards negative charge. So this is the negative charge, and this is a positive vector which moves towards a negative. So the deflection, positive into positive, is what? Negative. So the deflection will be negative. So that is, you will see a negative deflection on this one. See this is the negative. So sorry, with this I'll use some other color. So this is the negative deflection. Okay, this is a negative deflection which you will see on the ECG. Okay, so and what does this is what is called as Q wave. And what does this Q wave signifies now? Septal depolarization. Okay, septal depolarization. So far this P wave is atrial systole or atrial depolarization. Then we had AV nodal depolarization, which is not picked up. Now we have a downward deflection, which is septal depolarization. So any problem with the septum, any problem if there is in the septum, this septal depolarization will take a different route. Maybe the current will be very low, septal muscles will be affected, or septum will be affected. There won't be any deflection downwards. There won't be a Q wave. Okay, so all these problems you can understand later on when we discuss the practical part, but this is very important to understand. This is a septal depolarization. Now we said about this septal depolarization. Now we'll discuss it coming down, it going into the major ventricular depolarization. The same image I'll show you. So it's coming down, and yeah, why is it sharp? Why is this deflection very sharp? Because as I told you, the spread in the ventricle is very fast. We have got a very fast conducting system in the ventricles. So when the needle all of a sudden deflects and come back, okay, all of a sudden deflects and comes back, we said basically it's a galvanometer. It deflects and comes back quickly, means we'll get a sharp peak. Okay, whereas when we said about atrium, we said that its slow conducting system. It doesn't have Purkinje fiber system. So the deflection will be slow, means we won't get a peak, we will get a P wave, which is basically like this. Okay. So that's why the conduction is very fast. That's why we are getting a very peak. Now if the conduction in septum is slow, what happens? We won't get a peak, and we will increase the interval in that region will increase. Okay, which we'll say later on, the PR interval and different intervals are there which will increase. Okay, so the peak, the how much deflection takes place is dependent upon how much is the depolarization, and how quickly the deflection takes place depends upon the velocity, and how much the deflection takes place depends upon the how much is the depolarization potential, depending upon the health of that particular region. Now we will come on to the next part, that is, we are going from there, we are coming further down. The impulse is coming down and we are depolarizing the major ventricular portion on either side. And what happens in major ventricular depolarization? Now you have to understand that the depolarization will spread from the inner myocardium to the outer myocardium, because it's coming from here only, isn't it? It's coming from inner to the outer. So it goes from inner myocardium to the outer. Okay, it goes from inner myocardium towards the outer. It goes like this. Okay, so same here also, it's from the inner myocardium, it goes into the outer myocardium. So this is the outer myocardium and this is the inner myocardium on either side. This is the inner myocardium, so inner myocardium, and this is the outer myocardium, similarly on the other side. So what happens here? Now what is the direction of the vector? On the right ventricle, it is on the left ventricle, it is towards the left and downwards, and on the right ventricle it is right and downwards. Now which is thicker, right ventricle or left ventricle? It's a right ventricle which is, it's a left ventricle, sorry, it's a left ventricle which is much more thicker, isn't it? This has got higher thickness. This thickness of the ventricular muscles are higher in case of left side, means this vector will have its higher component towards the left side, means though on either side the force is conducted, the final vector will have a direction like this, because ventricle is much more thicker. Okay, it's a different concept which if I take more time, like if I explain it in detail, what happens is the time will just go by and this lecture will become very elongated lecture. So I just don't want. So just understand that as ventricle is very thicker, okay, this vector will have its direction to as left ventricle is very thicker, this vector will have its direction towards the left side, and definitely it is downwards because the spread is from the inner myocardium to the outer myocardium. So this will be the direction. Now let us come back to our same image of ECG and we'll see what is happening. So you've understood the deflections. Now just coming back, we said again, so this ventricular depolarization in this direction, again it's depolarization, so positive charge, and positive charge is coming towards the positive terminal, okay, because it's coming down, so it's positive towards positive, so it is again a positive deflection. So positive with positive, it's a positive deflection, and the ventricles has got a very high contractive, the major ventricular portion, because it's a major ventricular portion, it's thicker portion, so it has got a very high contractile power. Okay, the contractile power and the depolarization is very high there. So what we will see is a upward deflection, okay, an upward deflection which is very strong. And as the conducting system is again very fast conducting, it will be again a peak. It won't be a spreaded thing, it will be a peak. So that is what is R wave. So this is what major R wave is, major ventricular depolarization. Major ventricular depolarization is what it is. Okay. So Q was septal depolarization, then came down, we reached the major ventricular depolarization. Now from there we will go on to the basal depolarization. So this is how the spread comes. Okay, the spread goes like this, and here also the spread of impulses into the basal portion is like this, isn't it? So on the other side it is like that. So now where will be the vector? The vector of this depolarization will be directed towards which direction? Let us see that also. It is in this direction. It is in this particular direction, the upward and towards right, more towards the right, isn't it? On both sides, definitely, because definitely it goes up and rightwards, isn't it? In the basal septal region, it goes upward and leftward. So we will see what happens now in the previous picture we just explained. So here the direction of vector is somewhere like this, isn't it? Like this. We have reached the, sorry, I've reached the atrium. So it's like this, isn't it? It's somewhere like this. So now again, this is the positive terminal, this is a negative terminal. We are taking only one lead, again we need two. So now see what is happening. It is the positive, the positive, this is again depolarization, this is again depolarization, so it's having a positive charge. Depolarization is positive, entry of positive ions, so it is having a positive charge, and positive is moving away from positive, okay, that is towards the negative. So positive into negative is negative. So in the deflection we will see that there is a downward deflection from there, okay, that is negative deflection. So negative in the sense it's a downward deflection, though from the R it's coming down, so it's not going beyond the isoelectric line. So the baseline is called the isoelectric line, so it'll just come down. So that is what it is, S. And S is what? Basal ventricular depolarization. Ventricular depolarization. Still we have not reached repolarization, okay, we have not reached repolarization, we are still there in the depolarization part. So it's basal ventricular depolarization has taken place. So far we have what had happened. We got a septal depolarization of this vector, we have got a major ventricular depolarization, and now we have got a basal depolarization. This was Q wave, okay, so this was the Q wave, this is R wave, and this is S wave, okay. So we got QRS complex, and hope you have understood why that directions happened. Now the direction will change depending upon how we change the lead, sometimes in a different lead, okay. I'll explain this later on, but still for you to understand. Now if you take a different vector, okay, where the charges are slightly different. Now I can't show you in this lead, yeah, I can't show you in this limb leads. When it comes to chest leads or when it comes to the unipolar leads, I'll explain it to you, because here there is no way all the leads will have the same QRS complex, okay, but it can deflect down. But if there is a pathology, yes, it can change, isn't it? Imagine there is no major ventricular, or when major ventricular depolarization is like due to myocardial infarction, the major ventricle is being affected, means from the Q, okay, from the Q the deflection towards upwards will be lesser, okay. If normally this was the deflection, it will be having a lesser deflection, okay. So now the muscles are weak, that is the spread of impulses is very slow, means again the peak won't be there, it will be much more flattening. So all this depends upon how does these cells behave, okay. So now what happens next in the ventricles? Now imagine this is the same ventricle which we're talking about, this is a septum, okay, and we saw just now, what we saw was there was a spread of positive depolarization from there till the entire ventricles, okay. It was depolarizing everywhere, it was depolarizing, okay, it was depolarizing everywhere, okay. Just imagine this positive is there everywhere, it's depolarizing. Now when does deflection takes place? There should be a movement of current, okay, there should be a movement of electrons, or movement of charges, not electrons, movement of charges, there should be a movement of charges. So when the complete ventricle is depolarized, will there be a movement of charges? till repolarization begins? No. Till repolarization begins, the entire like when you have the entire ventricle being depolarized, everywhere positive, there is no movement of charges. Though it has been completely depolarized, there is no movement of charges. Means what? Will the ECG show any deflection? No, it won't show any deflection. So this is what it is. This is the region where there is complete depolarization and repolarization has not begun. So ST segment is the region where depolarization is complete, and repolarization has not begun, Hope you understood. There is complete depolarization entire surface of ventricle. So there is no flow of charges. That is, complete depolarization has taken place. Repolarization has not begun also. Only when repolarization begins, now there is negative charges building up, because you saw that in the earlier picture there was backflow, isn't it? There was a black flow of charges. Like what was depolarization? Depolarization was entry of positive charges. Repolarization is exit of positive charges, means inner becoming negative, that is negative charges propagating. So only at that time we will have deflection. Now there is no deflection because there is no charge being propagating. So we get ST segment, which is where depolarization is complete and repolarization has not begun. Now let us see what is happening next. So we saw depolarization has taken place. Now is the time when repolarization will take place. Okay, that is outside movement of the charges. So there is a rule that the place where depolarization has taken place last will be the place where the repolarization will take place first. So where does depolarization has taken place in the end, that is the place where repolarization will begin. This will be the place where repolarization begin, and negative charges, basically repolarization is negative. So this area starts depolarizing. Okay, starts depolarizing and it goes inside. It like the wave is inside. Okay, the vector is inside because this was the region. Outer myocardium was the one which was finally depolarized, so it will be the first to repolarize. So the vector will have a movement which will be having a direction which is upward and leftward or rightward. So this vector can be drawn like this. I'll tell you why there is a single vector. Because the repolarization took place, there was 3 vectors in 3 stages. This has got only 1 vector. Why? Because repolarization is a slow process. So by the time it begins here, okay, it's like this area has already started repolarizing. Okay, by the time the impulse reaches here, this area, the septum and this major ventricular region started repolarization. So it's like all simultaneously will be repolarizing, okay, together. So that's why it is having a single vector. Okay, it's only a single vector which is having this direction, because it's the area where the force of repolarization takes place from the inner towards the outer part. Okay, so sorry, outer towards the inner part. This is the outer part towards the inner part, and this will be the deflection. Now we will see the ECG machine and its deflection. So where is what is taking place? What has taken place? It's the ventricular repolarization taking place, and this is the direction, isn't it? Now what are the charges here? The charges completely changed, isn't it? It's basically negative charge which is propagating now. So this will have a negative sign. This, instead of the previous ones, this will have a negative sign. The vector will have a negative sign. Because why? Because it's a negative charge which is now propagating. It's repolarization. So now we will see the same rule, that is positive, negative, isn't it? And negative is moving towards negative. Means what? Negative into negative is what? It's positive. If you know mathematics, negative charge moving towards negative, it will produce a positive deflection. So but Repolarization is a slow process, so the deflection will be not a very quick deflection, it will be a slow deflection, which is the last portion, which is the T segment. So T is what? T is nothing but its ventricular repolarization. Still it's in the systole only, okay? Don't think that diastole. Repolarization means diastole. No, repolarization is the spread of influxes coming back. So that's repolarization. T wave is basically a ventricular repolarization. Very, very important. Okay, it's a ventricular repolarization. It has got an upward symbol. Okay, got it. Now any problem with what happens, why is T wave inverted? All this can be understood, because when will be the T wave inverted? When is it upward? Why is it upward? Because of the negative charges being moving towards the negative side. Okay, now if there is some difference, there is change in some axis, or if there is any charge difference, hyperkalemia, all these things, this will bring up some changes in the T waves, which we'll see later on. So why is it deflecting downwards? Because it's some charge difference taking place. Okay, some pathologies. So that will be discussed later on. So this is basically ventricular repolarization. Okay, now, so just coming back, P was atrial depolarization or atrial systole, and then there was this segment, okay, between P and Q, PQ segment, okay, PQ segment, not PQ interval, it's different. Interval and segment is different. So PQ segment is what is AV nodal depolarization, which is not picked up. Then Q is the downward deflection, which is due to septal depolarization. Then the upward deflection due to major ventricular depolarization. Then coming down because of the basal ventricular depolarization. Then the straight line because there is complete ventricular depolarization, there is no flow of charge. Then when there is a flow of charge, is basically repolarization, that is a negative charge being flown, means a ventricular repolarization has taken place. So this is basically the ECG. Now there are two waves which we have to discuss here. Is one is TA wave. We have seen what is T wave. It is ventricular repolarization. And there is another one which is TA and U wave. TA is atrial repolarization. Now, atrial repolarization, that is negative deflections or negative charge being carried, this is being masked by the ventricular depolarization. So this ventricular depolarization or QRS complex, which you saw, QRS complex is what is depolarization. So this masks the atrial repolarization because both occurs simultaneously. So somewhere in this QRS region, where we will get the TA wave if it's having some problems. Okay, some pathological issues. Actually, it is masked. Then we will have a U wave, which is after this. After T, we will get a U wave. Okay, and this U wave is due to what? Papillary muscle repolarization. Papillary muscle repolarization. Repolarization of papillary muscles. Just know this. This is more commonly seen in hypokalemia. Okay, hypokalemia. Papillary muscle repolarization. So just papillary muscles are the muscles of the valves. So repolarization of these muscles causes U wave, which is basically this is a U wave. Okay. So hopefully you have understood what is happening. Why I have explained this? It's very easy to explain it to you like this. This is atrial depolarization. This is QRS is ventricular depolarization. T is atrial repolarization. Very simple. But if you don't understand it the way I've explained it to you, it's very difficult for you to understand the ECG when we'll explain the pathologies. Okay, so that's the reason I have explained it to you in this way. Okay. Now let us understand various other things which is related to ECG. There is something known as waves, segments and intervals. Waves, no problem. You have already understood which are waves. These are the waves. P wave, Q wave or QRS complex you can call it as. Okay, and so this is a S wave. Okay, and there is T wave. So these are the waves. Now what are segments? Okay, and which are the segments you have to know. First segment you should understand. So you have understood what are the waves mean. Okay, P wave is what? P wave is atrial repolarization, like that. So it's not a big problem. But let us understand more importantly the segments of the ECG, segments of ECG. First segment we are going to discuss is about the PR segment. So let us see where is the PR segment. So now PR segment, it starts from the end of the P wave. Okay, it's from here till the start of the Q wave. Till the start of the PQ wave, it is called the PQ segment. But most of the time the problem with Q is that in many ECGs you can't see Q segment. Okay, and what was Q segment? Septal depolarization. Many times this gets hidden. Septal depolarization is not seen. So that's why the doctors have decided they'll go for the PR segment, which is a much better terminology to use. Okay, so this is basically the PR segment, from the end of the P wave to the starting of the R wave. Okay, from this to the starting of the R wave. Okay, so then what it does, it signifies. What is end of the P wave means what? It is where the AV nodal depolarization started, because this is the region where AV nodal depolarization started, or at the end of atrial repolarization, because end of the P means it's the end of atrial depolarization. So PR segment, so this is PR segment, very important. Okay, very important to understand. It is PR segment. How, what's the interval and all, I'll discuss later on. So just understand PR segment, it is basically, it signifies, or PQ segment. Okay, it signifies from the beginning of AV nodal depolarization or till the end of AV nodal depolarization. That is the beginning of the ventricular depolarization. Okay, so this signifies basically nothing but AV nodal depolarization. AV nodal depolarization. Okay, AV nodal depolarization, because we are taking it as, actually it should be PQ segment, but Q is not visible. That's why we take it as the PR segment. Again, the same thing, it signifies AV nodal depolarization. Okay, then the next segment which you have to know is ST segment. So it is very easy, no much problem, no much complication here. ST segment. Okay, ST segment. So beginning of T till the from the starting of S to the from the ending of S till the, so because this is downward deflection is the S wave, so from the end of S to the starting of T, isn't it? To the starting of T, this is the ST segment. And we all know that what does it signifies? It signifies that the ventricular depolarization is complete and atrial depolarization has not started. Atrial depolarization has not started. Okay, has not started. Now all these segments will prolong if there is some pathology. For example, if there is very delay in atrial repolarization, then there will be a delay of this ST segment. So ST segment is between these two areas. Okay, ST segment is these two areas. So now you have understood the two segments, which are they? The ST segment and PR segment. Now it is completely different to say there is something known as interval. Okay, what is interval? First understand what is interval. Interval means it's a wave plus wave, that is combination of two wave, or it can be a wave plus interval. We have just segment. Okay, wave plus, not interval. Interval is what we're discussing about. Wave plus segment. Segment, we just said two segments, PR segment and ST segment. Okay, there is also QRS segment, which is same as QRS wave. Okay, so it signifies ventricular depolarization. Okay, so interval means either of the two. It's either a combination of two waves or a combination of wave and a segment. Okay, a wave and a segment. Now we see intervals. Now there is a first interval, which is PR interval. Okay, PR intervals. So R is same, P has changed because there should be a combination. Actually PR segment was what? PR segment was simply a segment, a small segment. There is no combination of anything. So when we take interval, there should be something which is extra, which is some combining thing. So there is, we are adding a wave plus a segment. Okay, that is what is PR interval. Okay, PR interval. So it is from the beginning of P wave till the beginning of R wave, because I told you it's very less, like usually we won't get Q wave. So hope you got what I meant here. Okay, PR interval is PR segment. This PR segment is end of the P, okay, end of the P and starting of the R. Okay, this, or starting of Q if Q is present. So this is basically signifying AV nodal depolarization. But now as we have included one wave here, means what? We've included atrial depolarization. So this interval will be atrial depolarization plus the previous segment, which is the PR segment, which signifies the AV nodal depolarization, isn't it? AV nodal depolarization. So what does this P and Q signifies? We have already learned this when we discussed the basic X-ray, sorry, the basic ECG, that the P wave is actually the spread of impulses or depolarization in this direction, and ST segment is the spread, like the depolarization of this AV node. So the entire region, this is what is the PR, so PR interval. This is what is a PR interval. That is entire depolarization of the atrium and the AV node. Okay, atrial depolarization plus AV nodal depolarization. That is the time taken from the impulse to travel from the SA node here till the ventricle. Okay, isn't it, till the ventricle? So that is what it is. The time taken from for the impulse to travel from the SA node here till the ventricle. That is what is PR interval. Whereas PR segment is just this region. Okay, PR segment is just the AV nodal depolarization. But when you take PR interval, we consider P wave also. So it will include the entire thing. That is the impulse transmission till the ventricle from the SA node. Okay. Or you can say it as till the bundle of His, because here is the beginning of bundle of His. So all this, okay, or from the beginning of atrial depolarization till the conduction through the AV node. So basically you have to understand the concept here. The options will keep on changing. Just understand this is the region, what they mean by the PR interval. Okay, PR interval. Now, once you have understood PR interval, the next interval we have to know. We studied one segment, ST segment. Then combination of a segment and a wave is what is interval. So the next interval we are going to discuss is QT interval. So this QRS complex, okay, plus including the T. So there are actually two waves included now and a segment. ST segment is included, T wave is included, QRS complex is included. So here it is actually QT interval. Isn't it? QT interval. So QT interval is QRS already starting from Q, because okay, QRS is there, then there is ST segment is there, okay, and the T wave is also there. So what does all this signify? So it's QRS. QRS means what? QRS is the ventricular depolarization. ST segment was what? It is the time when there was no electrical charge flow. That is, there is entire ventricle is depolarized. Okay, now T is ventricular repolarization. So this means this interval, QT interval, is ventricular depolarization plus ventricular repolarization. That is the entire time period where the ventricles get depolarized and repolarized. Okay, depolarized and repolarized. That is the region where the systole has taken place. Systole. This is what is systole. This is what a systole is. This is what is a contraction is. We studied atrial systole, ventricular systole. So this is what is a ventricular systole is. Okay, that is, it includes a QRS complex, ST segment and a T wave. So this is so this particular thing from here to here is the QT interval. That is what the ST segment QT interval is. Okay. Now after that, what happens? After this QT interval, what happens? So what happens from here? Just see what happens from here onwards. It's atrial, it's ventricular diastole. Ventricular diastole begins here. Okay, ventricular diastole begins here. So ventricular systole is complete, and from the end of the T wave, we get the ventricular diastole to begin. So if they gave you a picture-based question, anything you can answer based on this. Okay, here is where the ventricular diastole begins. Another very important thing which you have to understand. Okay, I'll show you another picture just to show you, just to explain you the intervals. Forget about segment. Segment is understood. Two segments. One segment is this and second segment is this. But more importantly, to understand the interval. So PR interval. This is a PR interval, and this is the QT interval. So two intervals we have studied. Now what is the significance of this? One thing, during the QT interval, we said this is a QRS complex where there is ventricular depolarization, okay, or the beginning of ventricular depolarization, or it is a ventricular systole is beginning, and it is continuing till here, isn't it? It is starting from here, it is continuing from here. So we studied that during the beginning of systole, we have the closure of AV valve, AV valve closure. And when there is an AV valve closure during the beginning of systole, we get the first heart sound. So first heart sound is where? In the region of QRS complex, because that is where the beginning of systole happens. That is where ventricular systole begins or ventricular depolarization begins. And second heart sound, we have learned that it happens at the beginning of diastole. Beginning of the diastole, protodiastole, we see that there is a closure of semilunar valve. So this is the region we will get the second heart sound. Okay. So even if they ask you on ECG where is the first heart sound and where is the second heart sound, it is very simple. Okay. So this is the first heart sound and second heart sound. Okay. So that's about the various segments and intervals. Most importantly, you should know the PR segment and the QT segments. Then there are PR interval, not segment. Okay, this again I'm confusing. Segment means the shorter one, this one. These are segments. Intervals means PR intervals and QT intervals. Okay, so two segments and two intervals. Very important. Now we will go on to the next part. The timing and duration of the ECG, which is very, very important to understand the pathologies. Okay, if you know what happens, the ECG paper moves. Okay, the ECG paper moves and the needle deflects. So we have for example, we have a paper here. I'll just draw it here. Okay, we have the needle here, for example. This is a needle, and we have got a paper here, isn't it? A paper here, and this paper moves. Okay, this paper moves in a particular direction, most probably imagine this direction, and this needle deflects. And when the paper moves and needle deflects, that deflections are recorded on the ECG paper. Now what is an ECG paper and how fast does it move? They said it moves. How fast does it move? That is one thing to understand. It moves 25 millimeter per second. In 1 second, this paper moves 25 millimeters. Okay, and this paper has got few things to understand. This has got a big square, this is a large square. See, this is one large square, different large squares are there. Okay, it has got a large square and it also has small squares. See, these are the small squares. Okay, small squares. And when we consider speed, okay, when we consider speed of a paper in 1 minute, if you consider, we said 25 millimeter per second, or if you consider the big squares, it is 300 big squares per minute. or 300 big squares per 60 seconds. What does it mean? That is, one big square is being covered by, in how many time? 60 by 300. Don't need to know those calculations, but simply I'm just calculating for you. What is more important, I'll tell you. That is 0.2 seconds. That is, one big square is covered by the ECG. This one big square, this region is covered in 0.2 seconds. Okay, this is what they're telling about. Yeah, this one. 0.2 seconds. This one big square is covered in 0.2 seconds. And by the same way, if we calculate further, because one big square is 5 small squares. Okay, just take this. One big square is 5 small squares. Okay, this is 5 small squares. Okay, don't take it in 3 dimension, but then you will calculate more squares. It is just ECG paper is moving in one direction. Okay, so it's 5 small squares. So each small square, in that way, if you divide 0.2 divided by 5, we get 0.04 second. That is, the ECG machine covers one small square, this one small square, in 0.04 seconds, and one big square in 0.2 seconds. Okay, the ECG. So most important thing, forget about big squares. ECG needle covers one small square, very important, one small square in 0.04 second. That means one small square in ECG, any of this, okay, it is equal to 0.04 seconds. Okay, one small square means 0.04 seconds. That is what, that is how we calculate the timing of ECG. Okay, one square, small square, just that. Remember, don't remember anything else, just 25 millimeter per second, and one small square is nothing but 0.04 seconds. If you know this too, we will go further. Okay, when you draw the ECG, which we just learned, okay, you have to understand that we started with P wave, isn't it? P wave, which is atrial depolarization. So P wave is 2.5 small squares. Okay, 2.5 small squares. Okay, 2.5 small squares means what? Just listen to this. So if you have, this is isoelectric line where there is no deflection at all, and then if you have to take the P wave for 2.5, so somewhere here it will end. Okay, so it will be starting from here till here. This is the P wave. This is the P wave. Okay, 2.5. Okay, small 2.5. So 2.5 small squares, and one small square is how much? 0.04 second. So 0.04 plus 0.04 plus 2.5, isn't it? So plus 0.02, or you can multiply 2.5 into 0.04, same thing. Okay, so what we get is 0.10. Yes, so the interval for P wave is 0.10 second. Okay, 0.10 second. Okay, so this is the interval, 0.10 second, that is 2.5 small squares. Now what about PR segment? The next, after P, we've got PR or PQ segment. Okay, PR or PQ segment, which is again 2.5 squares. Again, very simple to understand. Okay, again 2.5 squares. So this will be 0.5. So just to take it like this, so it is 0.5 already. Then we have 1, 2. So this is PR segment. Okay, so again PR segment will be how much? The same calculations, 0.10 seconds. Okay, 0.10 seconds. Okay, now QRS. Now next is QRS complex, isn't it? So what about QRS complex? QRS complex, does it have any difference? No, it is again 2.5 small squares. Again 2.5 small squares. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 2.5. Somewhere here it will end. So it will be a downward deflection, it will be an upward deflection, okay, and it will be again a downward deflection. So this is QRS complex. Okay, so this is again 2.5. So again this is how much? Is there any difference? No, 0.1 seconds. QRS complex is also 0.1 seconds. Okay, 0.1 seconds. QRS complex is again 0.1 seconds. Then what you have to know next is about the QT interval. QT interval is starting from QRS complex from here till the end of Q, okay, till the end of T. So I have to draw this in another sheet, otherwise this won't be enough for me, isn't it? So I'll just take from QT interval I'm drawing. Okay, so imagine this is where I'm starting the Q, and QRS is how much? 2.5. So this is 1, 2, 2.5. So it is like this: downward deflection, upward deflection, and finally a downward deflection. Okay, so it is basically like this: 2.5 small squares. Okay, then what we have to know is QT interval, and QT interval is, so far we were dealing 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, isn't it? 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Just add 2.5 to that. Just add a 2.5 to that, and how much is it? 10 small squares. Okay, 10 small squares. So we are starting from Q, isn't it? QT means starting from Q. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This will be the QT interval. Okay, from here till here is the QT interval. And if a 10 small square means 10 into how much? 0.04, which is 0.4. So this segment QT interval will be 0.4 seconds. The other are 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and finally QT interval is 0.4 seconds. Okay, that is the entire period of the ventricular depolarization and repolarization, or the entire period of ventricular systole is what is how much? It's 0.4 seconds. Okay, so just once again, P wave 0.1, PR interval 0.1, QRS 0.1, QT interval is 0.4. Now if you want the range, if you know this, studying range won't be a big problem. Okay, so PR interval, the range is how much? It's 0.12 to 0.2. Okay, 0.1 to 0.2, remember it like that, 0.1 to 0.2 or 0.12 to 0.2. Okay, then QRS complex is 0.08 to 0.1. Okay, 0.08 to 0.1. So it's very quicker, isn't it? This is slower, so that's why it's reaching up to 0.2. QRS is very quick deflection, so it will reach 0.08 to 0.1, and this is 0.39 to 0.41. So it's 0.4 is what it is. Okay, so if you know this much, this is the period of the various wave segments. Okay, P wave, they are not giving any range, just 0.1. Okay, otherwise the others are having the range of 0.1 to 0.2 and all those. Okay, so if hopefully you have understood this much, next is about the bipolar limb leads, unipolar limb leads, chest leads. Basically it's very simple. Okay, I'll just quickly recap, very fast recapping. First we studied about this particular graph. We have been studying this for long, so I'm not repeating them. Okay, only thing you have to know is depolarization is positive charge and repolarization is negative charge. And once we said we are just discussing about this particular lead 2. Okay, so that's based on that we are finalizing the various waves. Okay, then we started with the atrial depolarization, where the wave was like this. Then that is SA nodal depolarization. Then we have AV nodal, which was not detected. Here it was P wave, here it was not detected. So PQ segment. Then we started with this, okay, septal depolarization, which is Q downward deflection. Then major ventricular R, and S is the basal ventricular. Then we had a flat line, which is spread of depolarization, completely not spread of depolarization, complete depolarization, and spread will have a deflection. Okay, if it's a complete depolarization is finished, then only there won't be any depolarization. Then T wave is basically it's a reverse, it's a repolarization. Okay, it's a repolarization, so we will have a T wave. Okay, then from there it starts the ventricular diastole. So till that was the diastole. Then we studied about the intervals and segments, or segments and intervals. PR segment, ST segment. Then PR interval, which is wave plus wave, or wave plus segment, or wave plus segment, which is QT interval. Okay. So then what does it signify? It's very simple. If you know all these things, just add up. That's what it is. Okay. Then what? After that, hard sounds. Hard sounds, we said QRS is the beginning of the depolarization, means beginning of the systole. That is the first hard sound. And here is what's the beginning of diastole. So that will be the second hard sound. Okay. Then timing and duration. Only thing you have to know is 0.04 seconds. Okay. 0.04 second is 1 small squares. So based on that, we have P is 2.52 small squares. So 2.5 into 0.04, which is 0.1. PR interval is again same thing. QRS is same. QT is 10 small squares. So that will be 0.4 seconds. Okay. So that's it. We'll continue in the next session about the remaining part of the ECG. See you in the next session. Goodbye.